Welcome back to the theater of human emotion, anything you want. In a digital age where romance is often reduced to fleeting emojis and staged paparazzi walks, we pride ourselves on looking closer. We exist to decipher the silence between the words, to analyze the artifacts of affection that tell the true story behind the blinding flashbulbs. If you are here for the superficial headlines that vanish by morning, you may find yourself lost. But if you are here to understand the complex architecture of a relationship played out in the public eye, you have found your sanctuary. Today, we are turning our lens toward a night in Istanbul that began with glamour and ended with a mystery, a narrative rewritten not by a press release, but by a single piece of jewelry worn by Yağmur Yüksel and the answering echo from Baris Baktaş. Before we unlock the secrets of the deep sea stone and the phrase "only us," I must ask for your commitment to this journey. To ensure that our independent, deep-dive journalism continues to thrive in an algorithm obsessed with the trivial, please verify that you are subscribed to anything you want. And for those among you who wish to be the true patrons of this channel, the guardians of detailed storytelling, I invite you to click the join button below. Your support is the gravity that holds this universe together. Now, settle in. We are about to deconstruct the moment a ring became a revolution. The setting was archetypal, a high-gloss brand launch in the beating heart of Istanbul, where the air is perpetually thick with a cocktail of expensive perfume, nervous ambition, and the static electricity of cameras. It was the kind of evening where appearances are usually calculated to the millimeter, yet the arrival of Yağmur Yüksel disrupted the standard frequency of the night. She did not merely enter, she glided into the fray without a hint of theatrics, wearing the calm, unassailable confidence of a woman who has no need to demand attention because she naturally commands it. Her aesthetic choice for the evening was a study in purity. A white ensemble, decisive and ceremonial, paired with an updo that exposed the elegance of her neck, making every movement appear as though it were part of a carefully rehearsed choreography. However, the luminosity of her presence was quickly eclipsed by a singular, glittering detail that hijacked the collective gaze of the room. Resting on her right hand, catching the strobe lights of the press line, was a ring that defied the definition of a mere accessory. It was not a piece borrowed from a stylist's archive for a fleeting moment of vanity, it carried the heavy weight of intent. The central stone, a gem the color of the deepest oceanic trench, debated instantly by onlookers as either a rare sapphire or a unique topaz, sat upon a band that seemed engineered to tell a specific story. To the uninitiated, it was simply a chic addition to a flawless outfit. But to those who have chronicled the saga of Baris and Yağmur, it was a flare fired directly into the night sky, a signal that the narrative had shifted. In the modern era, nothing remains hidden from the legion of online sleuths, those tireless archivists of romance who possess screenshots for memory and timelines for weaponry. It took mere minutes for the connection to be made. The design of the ring was identified as the signature work of an exclusive boutique in Istanbul, a jeweler that operates behind the veil of appointments and discretion. The timeline clicked into place with the precision of a lock. Just 2 weeks prior, Baris Baktaş had been observed slipping into that very establishment, exiting later with a small, nondescript box and an expression that the paparazzi struggled to decode. The implication was immediate and electric. Yağmur was not wearing a random piece of jewelry, she was wearing a tangible manifestation of Baris's affection. In the grammar of their relationship, where silence has often spoken louder than words, this was a complete sentence. The tension in the atmosphere thickened palpably when a reporter, brave enough to bypass the standard pleasantries, inquired about the ring's origin. Yağmur's response was a masterclass in protective vulnerability. She did not dodge the inquiry, nor did she offer a denial. Instead, she offered a private smile, the kind that guards a precious memory rather than flaunting it, and articulated a response that landed like a church bell. This piece belongs to a very personal chapter. It's more than decoration. It's a keepsake, a vow in quiet, and it matters to me. The phrase "a vow in quiet" is not the language of casual gifting, it is the terminology of commitment. But just as the room was digesting her words, a leak from within their inner circle raised the stakes to a stratospheric level. Sources indicate that the ring holds a secret known only to the wearer and the giver. Inside the metal band, pressing warmly against her skin and hidden from the invasive glare of the flash, a specific phrase has reportedly been engraved, "Only us." For the longtime followers of the Baris and Yağmur epic, these two words are not random, they are historic. This is the mantra they utilized during the zenith of their partnership, a private motto whispered in interviews and shared in moments of triumph. To see these words resurrected now, etched permanently into metal, suggests that the concept of us never truly dissolved into the ether. It implies that while the definition of their relationship may have shifted or submerged, the core connection remained intact, waiting for the right artifact to bring it back to the surface. We are dissecting a gesture that feels incredibly intimate for a public stage. I want to turn the floor over to you, the Anything You Want community. Do you believe the phrase "only us" signifies a romantic reunion, or is it a tribute to an unbreakable bond that has transcended romance into something else? How do you interpret the choice of the bluestone? Tell us your theories in the comments below. And remember, hitting the like button helps us continue this investigation. For those who want to support our detailed analysis directly, the join button awaits. While Yağmur commanded the carpet, the other half of this equation was facing his own storm across the city. Leaving the set of a grueling night shoot, Baris Baktaş was met by a tidal wave of microphones and questions. Despite looking worn from the long hours, he maintained that signature steady magnetism, a quiet intensity that has never needed to raise its voice to be heard. The press, emboldened by Yağmur's earlier appearance, demanded to know, had he bought the ring? What was the meaning behind it? Baris refused to engage in the juvenile game of hide and seek. He did not feign ignorance. Instead, he delivered a line that was as cryptic as it was revealing. "Some things don't need explaining," he murmured, seemingly speaking more to himself than to the reporters. "The point is that she knows." That single sentence did not shut the door on speculation. It blew the windows wide open. What is she meant to know? Is this an invitation to rebuild the ruins? A promise of unwavering support from a distance? Or perhaps a dignified curtain call? The ambiguity of his response split the internet into two earnest camps, with one side viewing it as a careful, slow-burning rekindling of a fire that never truly went out. The narrative did not end when the physical cameras stopped rolling. In the digital realm, Baris continued the conversation. Hours after the confrontation, while the timelines were buzzing like neon lights, he posted to his Instagram stories. The image was blurred with intention, a view of the Bosphorus sliding into the violet hues of twilight. There were no faces, no text, no tags. But the audio was a confession. Playing in the background was a single ballad, a melody that fans recognized instantly as the anthem they once turned to when the world felt too loud. He did not address anyone by name. He didn't have to. The constellation of evidence was complete: the ring, the engraving, the timing, and now the song. To many observers, this ceased to look like a series of coincidences and began to look like a conversation, two hearts trading coded messages over the heads of the crowd. It was a digital serenade, a public confirmation of a private sentiment. As the adrenaline of the night faded, the stage shifted from the glare of the red carpet to the soft, natural light of a Nisantacy morning. Yağmur appeared at a window table of a cafe, accompanied only by her agent. The photographers, sensing the fragility of the moment, approached with a newfound restraint. She did not hide. She let the morning sun hit her tea and her hands, and significantly, she kept the ring on. It flashed once across the glass, a wink to the watchful world. When a reporter gently asked how the whirlwind of the last 24 hours had felt, Yağmur considered the question with a long, meditative inhale. Her reply was a piece of philosophy: an ending doesn't always break things. Sometimes the shape just changes. This line unspooled in 1,000 minds. It evokes the Japanese art of kintsugi, repairing cracks with gold to make the object more beautiful for having been broken. Is she suggesting that the romance has reshaped into a friendship bound by ironclad history? Or is she hinting that the form is bending back toward love, but a version that is braver and wiser than before? While the speculation swelled, a respected film magazine released a new profile on Baris, adding yet another layer to the mystery. When asked about the nature of love, a question he typically swats away with practiced indifference, he wandered off the script. Love is what remains after the noise fades, he posited. When quiet says more than speech, and one look tells you the whole story. This aligns perfectly with his earlier philosophy, that the heart's true language is not conversation, but recognition. But the definitive clue came from the eagle-eyed viewers who dissected the behind-the-scenes footage of the photo shoot. During the pauses between takes, Baris was observed repeatedly rolling a thin chain between his fingers, a nervous tick of someone protecting a secret. Hanging from that chain was a small blue pendant, a precise match in shade and cut to the stone on Yağmur's hand. A pair. Two halves of one idea. The internet swooned. This is a living drama, one user wrote. We just need the kiss in the rain. The comments flowed like warm ink, hopeful, aching, and afraid to hope too much. So, where do we stand in the eye of this storm? There is no joint statement on station letterhead announcing a reunion. There are no staged paparazzi photos of intertwined hands. But there is a language unfolding before our eyes, a dialect of quiet gestures, shared codes, and an emotional compass that stubbornly points back to the same north. We are not watching the typical celebrity template of cut and run. This feels stickier, deeper. A tapestry of refusals and returns folded into something that defies easy headlines. Every movement reads like a stanza in a longer poem they have been writing together for years. And that ring keeps gleaming, reflecting not just the light, but the shared memory of everyone who believes that some stories deserve a second draft. Maybe the truth is simple, true love doesn't always make announcements. Sometimes, it just leaves signs. A line on metal. A song at dusk. A blue stone that matches a hidden pendant. Thank you for walking through this investigation with us. If this story touched your heart, please leave a comment and share this video. Make sure you are subscribed and have the bell icon clicked. And to our Join members, thank you for allowing us to see the poetry in the news. Until next time, keep your eyes open for the signs. Goodbye.